That nigga is stupid.
That's what it is.
Oh,
Oh, we're
please.
live. Okay. Hey, how you?
What?
What's good, everybody?
How do you know when we're live? Does it tell you?
It popped up on the side of my screen. And listen, what's good, everybody, man? Thank y'all for sliding. Y'all, bro,
Nobody's
we
here
back.
yet.
Who
Nobody's here
gives a
yet.
fuck? But we're talking because it's recorded. So when they come in, they'll see that.
Mm.
So don't interrupt me.
Why do you curse so much?
Someone else asked me that too.
That's
Why?
the sign of a person with low vocabulary. Wait,
Is it really?
I'm not
Is it?
sure.
Or is it? Could it be also a sign, or potentially a sign, of a person who doesn't ascribe to society's rules or norms or mores? Is it possible that that's the case? Is it
Subscribe or
possible?
subscribe? What's the word?
Subscribe.
Subscribe. Hi Tia. Hi White Down. Hi
What's good,
Susan.
everybody?
I said,
So
look.
that's a very good conversation topic to start this motherfucker off with. I think we should get into it.
No,
I think we
let's do
should,
it first.
because
Don't rush us
I
because you
got
got
I got
somewhere
a
to
lot.
go. Don't do that.
We already starting late, and I've been here since 10.
We're not starting late. We're early. White Down, where have you been? Who is
Like
Susanna?
Jesus.
Who's Susanna?
What's up, Tia? What's up, Susanna? What's happening?
Who is
Thank y'all for
Susanna?
sliding. What's good with you, Marianne? What's happening? I think
Marianne.
Susan was in here too. Hold on. Yep, Susan's in. We appreciate you for sliding. Thank y'all so much. What it do?
Dynamicist.
Yeah.
Who is Susanna?
She was in here. Susan.
Yes, Susan. There is no Susanna. Anti. Oh, she said that's me. She's just going along to get along. Susan, don't do that. You are Susan. You're not Susanna. That's two different names altogether.
Well, no, there may be some context to this, because she might be Susanna in her real world.
What?
Yeah, and they might know her better than you do. There's
Where's
always that
Anti?
possibility.
Anti was she had I saw a short. She was putting on lip gloss. She was
Really?
going to
Play it. Let me see that. I'd be interested to
She was
find out.
doing like that.
Yeah, play it. Let's play
And then
it.
she made this weird sound. She said,
Oh yeah, play it.
I was like, why is she doing? She said, Anti, you still here? Oh, she said her grandmother called her.
Yeah, see? Come on.
Oh, it's her birthday this weekend? Say less. Anti, you still here? Wait,
Hold
I
on.
got something
Whose
for
birthday?
you.
Is it Susanna's or
No,
Anti's?
it's Anti. Here we go. You ready?
One time for the birthday bitch, 2 times for the birthday bitch, 3 times for the birthday bitch. Fuck it, every bitch's birthday.
He want that cake, 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 cake.
Birthday sex, birthday sex.
When I die, bury me inside the Gucci style. When I die, bury me inside the Louis style. All I want for my birthday is a big booty house. All I want for my birthday is a chain.
Go Sheila, it's your birthday. Go Sheila, it's your birthday. Go Ferdy, it's your birthday. Go Ferdy, it's your birthday. Go Anna, it's your birthday. Go Anna.
Okay, now we can hear you.
Yeah, I think birthday sex is the best one. Wait a minute, you didn't hear none of the shit I was just saying?
No, because when I do the overlay, you can't hear. Where's Anti? Let's do one more. We got one more. Here you go, Anti. Here you go.
That you find when I knew what you got in mind tonight. Got me feeling like Jodeci, girl, I can't leave you alone. Take a shot of this here Patron, and it's gonna be on. VIP then got way too crowded. I'm about to end up calling it a night.
That's our one and only.
How in the fuck do you have that, number one? And number two, how did you have that ready to cue?
There you go, Anti. Anti said, I don't swing that way. Okay. Okay. Hello? Is everybody here? All right. I'm dead. Come on, Tia. Come on,
that's
guys.
wild.
We're,
You still didn't answer my question, but nevertheless,
because
we
you
go
don't need
on.
to know all my secrets.
Well, I mean, we're supposed to be producing this show together, so that would help me to know.
Nirvana's been working on edits, right? Listen, I'm trying to grow my channel. No, I'm just kidding.
No, man,
Okay.
that's what's up though. I didn't. That was terribly unexpected for me. So,
And then
I didn't even know you had that shit.
you had your swag. That was your swag.
Man, listen, that came from a time period. It's coming back though.
It's coming back.
Yeah. I'm gonna get back to posting soon enough. Soon enough, I'm gonna get back to posting. And
Okay, we got one more for you.
With all that you got going, girl, I like a little cushion. I like a little cushion. Or whatever I'm pushing. Good luck. I tell her back that thing on up a little weight. Don't bother me. Girl, I don't see nothing wrong with all that you got.
All right, now with all of that said,
listen, hey, hey, run that back for me real quick.
the pushing one.
Yeah, run that back one more time.
Okay, here we go.
With all that you got going, girl, I like a little cushion. I like a little cushion. Or whatever I'm pushing. Good luck. I tell her back that thing on up a little weight. Don't bother me. Girl, I don't see nothing wrong with all that you got.
Mm-hmm. You know, see, I feel the spirit of the Lord telling me sometimes you gotta know your limitations.
You gotta know.
you gotta be aware of what those limitations are,
Well,
and work within your scope. You see what I'm saying? Like work within your lane, whatnot. I
you
got
was
one
feeling
actually.
good.
You know what though? And I'm with it. You know, and sometimes we are feeling good, and that's just what it is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, especially when something like that happens. But look, that is out. It's no different than my man right here.
Okay.
Now, see.
Let me see. Let me put him up here.
Yeah. Put this shit back on the screen for me. Now, hold on now. It's going to replay itself in a second.
How it feels to turn 40 and no longer be able to explain what your body does. Oh!
Oh, you lost it. You got to know where your limitations are because it's very important to know that. Now, his ass should have known. Standing on the edge of that.
Mm-hmm.
My knees and my ligaments ain't going to respond the way that they
Oh, he
used to.
had flip-flops on and he was on the edge. You think that's what it was?
Nah. You got to stay off the edge. So I've learned I'm going to stay in certain lanes when it comes to certain types of activities.
Okay.
Because outside of those lanes, my shit ain't going to work right.
Mm-hmm.
You won't catch me playing basketball with these little young niggas out here on these and talking shit while I'm playing.
Okay.
Now my son will get out there and get active. Him and his friends, I'll get active with them. But not the other ones.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, I ain't doing that.
Because they probably won't respect you the way your son would.
No, well, maybe. You will get clowned on. But more importantly, my mind says one thing. My body says another. And I'll never forget.
Let me know.
I was watching my dad. We was out at the park. This is in Hawaii. And he was talking all this shit. And I seen this nigga get the ball. And he did some little move, but only his shoulders moved. His legs didn't. And then he was trying to take that and turn that into like a layup. And his legs just stayed going the same speed. And so man, he ends up rolling into the fence next to the basketball court. And couldn't stop himself.
You know what? But what happens is in his mind, that shit was hard.
And
he did it.
No, in his mind was he saw the move. Mm-hmm. He said, but his body
he couldn't execute.
Yeah, his body didn't participate.
He couldn't.
So I learned even as a young nigga. This is my question.
When when he ran into the fence, did he get up in embarrassment or did he get up like he did some shit?
He laid there for a minute. And then when he got up, he just shook his head and he smiled. You know how his smile is. He smiled and just said, "God damn,"
and played it off.
Yeah, kept it moving, but he knew because I ate his ass up.
You see what Tia said? He don't know. He
no,
don't
I
check
didn't.
his shit.
Listen, no.
You
Let
don't?
me say this. No,
I
let me
don't
say
either.
This is for any and everybody. If I don't respond to something, it's not because I saw it and I ignored it. It's because I didn't see it. So, and that goes the same with sometimes with text messages or whatever. I will typically always respond to it, whether I'm able to do it or not. I'll respond.
Okay.
No, don't do that.
Because you're going to excuses.
That's not an excuse. I'm just telling her the reality of the situation. I don't want people to think I'm rude or I ignore shit. Because you say that I need to do better on the videos. I don't respond to the videos. But I told you I just don't always see them. And I'll look at my notifications and I don't be seeing it all the time. That's all there is to it. Now, mentions, I don't even know what that is. I don't even know where to find that on YouTube. I'm not even going to cap.
It's on the bell icon in the top right corner. There's a little, looks like a bell. That's your notifications. And when you click on that, there's a little subcategory that says mentions. That means if somebody mentions you on purpose, it'll come up there in that area.
Yo.
You see all those? Is it a lot of them, Jason?
It's a lot of them.
So those are things people have mentioned you specifically.
Yeah. Yeah, but you know what's crazy is I don't even see it. I don't see some of these in the actual notification, the notification side. Oh, wait a minute. I got to go way down. There they go. There's some of them over there. So they are over there. But I got all kinds of notifications that come through for other shit that's on YouTube. So I didn't know that mentions is the area that targets me.
Well, now you know.
Yeah, so
we all learn something new.
It's 2025. Let's do better.
Do we have to?
My apologies.
Do we have to do our intro? Or can I play a song?
My name is the Dynamicist. Why not?
I'll go first.
Why do you have to go first?
That's the way it's always been. Why would you want to change it on episode 4?
It's not changing. It's just we're flowing with what's happening right in this minute.
I'm Nirvana.
And I am the Dynamicist. I'm the second.
And we're Unlatched. So, Dynamicist.
What's happening?
I'm going to play a song. This is the song I want to play.
Yeah, run it.
All right. It's called I Forgot.
What happened? You gonna put it in the chat or what?
Okay.
Said you needed space. Said you needed more time to think. So you went away. But you still would stay in my dream. Now you're back for more. Why you in my reality? My head closed the door. Even though my heart just won't leave. That was then, can't go back. Hurts so bad, had to block out the memory. If we try again, start from scratch. You wanna pick up where we left off, but you've been gone away. You've been gone away so long. Since you've been gone away so long. I forgot your middle name, I forgot your birthday. You still wear cologne the same, like it in the worst way. You've been gone away. Since you've been gone away, 50-11 days, 50-11. I lost count of all of the weeks that you have your way. Wouldn't pick a fight when you'd leave. Now you're back for more. Did you find the healing you see? Or did you realize that I'm everything that you need? That was so bad. Had to block out the memory. Yeah. Start from scratch. You wanna pick up where we left off, but you've been gone away. You've been gone away so long. You've been gone away. You've been gone away so long. I forgot your middle name, I forgot your birthday. You still wear cologne the same, love it in the worst way. You've been gone away, since you've been gone away, you've been gone away. I forgot your middle name, I forgot your birthday, your favorite position. Do we still have chemistry? Yeah. Since you've been gone away so long.
Forgot a whole bunch of shit.
Yeah, that's actually not a bad song.
It's
She
pretty
sounds like she was really affected by that.
So you're in it. Where do you want to tell everybody where you are?
No?
Because I wanted to talk about why you feel like the options there are different than the options in where you live. The type
What
of
are we-
the type of women.
Are you talking about women in general?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's
So
different.
it's a different type of woman there versus where you live.
Yeah, it's very different. It's very different. The norms. So I guess I'm in Atlanta, and obviously I lived here for like 20 some years or some shit. But over that time, what I've come to realize is that there's a trend, there's a way in which people communicate regionally. And I'm actually, I would even say it you could even go so far as like state, and locality type shit, because what I've noticed is that depending on where, no matter where I'm at, there's a way in which there's a norm. And for me, I'm just very in tune to certain types of social cues and picking those things up because I pay attention to those. Right. Mm-hmm. So that's just kind of my thing. So, North Carolina, I've been there. I've been to Europe. I've been fucking Amsterdam, Holland. And I've been like some other little islands and shit like that. But I talk to people and I tend to find myself talking to them. So, but I can say though that the women here, and this is something I've said in like male circles for the most part, is that I don't know if it's because of scarcity in Atlanta, if it's because of the competition in Atlanta, but typically women outnumber men pretty drastically here. I want to say the numbers. As a matter of fact, I'll tell you exactly what the numbers are, but women outnumber men pretty dramatically.
But I thought that was the case in a lot of places, that women outnumber men in general. Maybe more so there, but so what does that mean? Because they outnumber them, it means what?
Well, to me, what I think happens is it informs how do you interact with whatever your thing is, right? So because of a scarcity piece, I think with Atlanta in particular, Atlanta's got a really got a name for a lot of things, right? Black Hollywood is here now. You have it's a place where what used to be called a chocolate city. I think the new chocolate city is Houston now. Before, I think, what was the and wasn't it Chicago or some shit was Chocolate City?
I don't know, but what are you gonna say? What are you saying?
Well, I think as it relates to the interactions, it could be based on scarcity because women outnumber men here, and then you have the notion that you have single men, you have the married men who's out here fucking around, and then you have the men that's on the down low, right? And then you have men who are just openly homosexual. So when you consider all of those categories, and there's probably a variety of others, it makes that number even smaller if what you're looking for are cisgender men. And if you're looking for cisgender men who are not attached, who
So are
don't
you?
have
So are you saying? What are you? So are you saying that
the pool of eligible people to pick from is smaller,
so therefore
so therefore there's more aggression
from women?
from women.
Women. So your bottom line is women are more aggressive, in your opinion. Women are more aggressive there in Atlanta versus where you live in Vegas,
Versus other places. Yeah,
other places.
they are.
So they're more
It's
aggressive.
mhm.
Okay, which
And
makes it
aggressive.
easier.
No, but aggressive, I would say though, let me reframe that in this though. This part of the discussion is aggression is they're more willing to tell you how they feel sooner rather than later.
Mm.
So they're more willing to show you their interests rather than, oh, I see them.
Because
I
they don't want to
do.
lose out on the opportunity.
There you go. That could be the case. I don't know. I'm not a woman, but that
So
could be a part of it.
so it sounds like to me it's easier for you from a dating perspective, just because that's what we're talking about, because women are more aggressive and more outright and more they're just more, it's easier for you. You don't have to do the chasing because they chase, because they
There
don't want
is,
to lose the opportunity, because it ain't too many of y'all, so I better get them while I can. I don't have time to be shy.
yeah, but see, you say easier. I would preface that though because
Mm-hmm.
it's easier in some respects, but then it also comes with its own challenges, right? Because when you have that type of dynamic, then you're also considering, well, what are the primary draws or motivations behind the interest? Is it ultimately because I'm just that nigga, or is it because I need to act fast?
Hi, Mama Bear.
So then you have a lot of those factors that are playing in. So you do have to be mindful because the recyclability piece is high too here. Because
Mm-hmm.
niggas will deal with you for a minute, then they off doing something different. And that can happen too. So is it is it easier to find long-term love in a dynamic like that? I don't think so. I think it still it poses its challenges. But I would say it definitely is different though, because they respond different across the board. Like for
Women.
instance, I was out a couple nights ago, right? And this place was packed. It was packed and the women came in dressed to the nines. I mean, they top head to toe, just with it.
Mm-hmm.
And you seen hella groups of women like politicking together, and then you see men sprinkled all throughout, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I'm observing what's happening, and I noticed that majority of the men that were in there weren't talking to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
I saw two dudes holler at a female out of all those men, and I'm in like this catbird seat in the club because I'm observing all the shit because the music was vibing, but I'm just looking at interactions, and I noticed that most of the men weren't going, to go holler at this one, go over here, holler at that one. They weren't doing any of that. They just kind of were posted in their spaces.
Because why? Because they didn't have to. Because the women come to them.
I think possibly that is one of the things is because they're waiting to be chosen rather than to choose.
That's what I
because
mean when I say easier.
yeah, but again, easier is it easier to get that type of interaction if you have something to offer? Maybe. But if that's what you're, and that's only easier if that's what you're looking for. If that's not what you're interested in, then it really does nothing. Right? So again, if your interest is I just want to be approached, yeah, it's easier here to be approached by a female. She's going to let you know that she's feeling you. It's not going to be that cat and mouse shit. They don't do all that.
Do
I'm
you think
looking
it
at
has
him.
something to do with being fake? Like when
No.
you're talking about a New York, you're talking about a LA, you're talking about a Vegas. These are when this is what comes to mind for me is it's fast paced. If when you talk about Southern women, and I'm speaking in generalities on purpose to make the point, is we're talking about women who I would think are more nurturing, and I'm again
You're
generalities,
generalizing. Hmm.
nurturing, catering, for lack of a better term. You know, they possess that. It's not so much fast paced and blah blah blah. I'm guessing. So I'm more traditional type of roles, which I don't know. I don't
To
know.
a degree, yeah, I would say to a degree that's normal here, right? It's it, it's normal to find a woman here who knows how to cook and handle herself in the kitchen. That's normal.
Okay.
That's not awkward. It's not strange to find that.
Mhm.
You typically would expect that to some degree.
Okay.
Um, but I just don't say easier because it just depends on what you're looking for. If that's what you're looking for and your barometer for success is
Come on,
that
barometer.
I can get a female's attention, okay, cool, yeah, you're in there. But if it's more than just getting her attention and keeping her attention, well, there's a whole nother level, and there are some challenges here that are unique to the space. But I can find that those challenges and I can see them like diametrically opposed or the contrasted in Vegas. And then I've been in a few other places where I've kind of been an adult and operating within those spaces. So it's very interesting. Um, it's very interesting when you consider that all women are not the same. And at least they don't, the ways in which to communicate to them is not always the same. And what they
Okay.
respond to is not always the same.
Right. And
Yeah.
that could be geographical. So the
It,
reason I brought that up is because I never thought about that. And when you told me that the other day, I was like, oh, okay. It never crossed my mind. I mean, I guess it wouldn't need to, but I was like, okay, well, that makes sense. When you talk about geography and what is the word I'm looking for when we're talking about like uh how a person is raised or
well,
uh
their culture, then there's conditioning and
yeah,
social
yeah.
conditioning.
Yeah, and then it
Yeah.
has to do with a lot of things, including where you live, who you were raised by, what your beliefs are, all of that, right? They form who you are.
Tia
And
Tia's statement, I've actually heard that though, that women who are from Seattle. Matter of fact, Tia, let's do something real quick. This will be live and in action. So Tia, obviously, she's familiar with this area. I'm not. I've never been there. I plan on going this year though. But so Tia, I'm going to tell you what I've heard and what I perceive about the women up there, and you can say if it's accurate to your experience or not. Um, but one, what I get from the women there, they are they are genuinely looking for somebody to partner with. That's real. Like it's not the trade them out type shit. Like they're not interested in that. It's not the glitz and the glamour of just having somebody. No, they legitimately are looking for somebody to partner with. The women there
stability,
seem, huh?
stability, like
Yeah,
stable relationships.
yeah. They're searching for. Oh, come on, Thesaurus.
I pop out and
Hold
show
on.
niggas every now and then.
Yeah, come on, supplements. Let's go.
Come on.
So I like that. I would say that in addition to that, from my experience, and then these are the things that, so I know women that are from Seattle, and then I also have had conversations about people up there and like how are the interactions, social interactions. So I would say that, so there's that piece. Another consistent trend is that home piece, like being like taking care of you or their partner, and then taking care of their space. That's
Nurturing.
they're nurturing. Yeah, that I think that kind of resonates pretty high with women, generally speaking, and from those areas. Yeah, because I and yeah, I would say stuff like that right there. But you don't hear that about other places. You hear more or less, you hear that about Southern women. But honestly, I've heard a lot about women that are from that region in
From
particular.
Seattle, or where
Mhm.
is that? What is that region? That's
Washington,
I know,
West
but
Coast. It's the northwest.
north, yeah.
Yeah, northwest. Not far from Canada.
Now she mentioned Bellingham. Where is that?
I don't know where Bellingham is.
Bellingham is in Washington. Bellingham, Washington is like the hood. So she's saying the women in Seattle versus the women in Bellingham. So Seattle, is that like bougie, or we're talking generalities. Every place has a hood. Every we know that. But okay, she said yeah.
And then I know the proximity to
Hi East Dad.
What's up, East? The proximity to Canada is pretty close, right? And as a matter of fact, like I met some people recently from Canada who invited me to come up to Canada to, kick it with them or whatever the case may be. And what was fascinating about that was, how when you meet people and you meet people just regularly or casually, and they say, oh, yeah, get at me or fuck with me, but they don't give you their phone number type shit. Or they'll say, California is fucking known.
Yeah, they're not sincere. It's not sincere.
Not sincere at all, right? It's just kind of just something to say. But the people I've met that are from there, they're very literal about that. Like if they vibe with you, they vibe with you. So it's like there's no pretense there. So when this couple was like, yeah, why don't you come visit and hang out and woo. For a second, initially I was just like, okay, yeah, woo or whatever. But I'm a very genuine person. I don't expect genuineness from other people all the time. I don't always expect that.
Mm-hmm.
But the other part of that is that when I thought about who they were and I considered some of the things that I'm familiar with about people from those regions, they are typically pretty consistent about that. Like they tend to, if they say it, they mean it. And this lady actually sent emails and all kinds of shit since meeting them. And it was casual. Just met them in a little, little club type shit. Like a speakeasy type little exclusive club that was out there in Vegas, and I was in there, and but they were like that, and I think that kind of speaks to there are some things that happen regionally because you get accustomed or you get kind of conditioned by the area in which you come from. You can. That's
so
not to say everybody.
So would you? You want to, so for you want to get married again, for instance, right? Now this, everybody's different, whatever, but whatever.
I don't know.
This could be men or women. Let's just pretend. This could be men or women. Do you think that somebody should move? And you know what I mean by this?
That's a good fucking
for question. Love, because the reality is that if there's certain things that I'm looking for. And let's just say I was single, right? And I'm from Los Angeles. I live in New Mexico. Okay. Well, if I was single, I feel like I would have a better chance in LA, where I'm from, finding a match. So if I'm looking for love and I'm single, Do I stay in New Mexico and say, your love will find you, right? Let's keep your options open. Love can find you anywhere, right? Or
Yeah.
if I want to actually find love, do I literally get up and move and go find it in areas that I think it would be? Like, what
Okay.
makes sense? Would you move for that? Would you move for love?
Well, here's the thing though. That's a very good question.
Isn't it?
I really fuck with that question
Okay,
because
talk to me.
I can see two sides of that coin.
Okay.
So staying geographically where I'm at, if there are specific things that I'm looking for,
Okay.
then I might like for instance, if you're looking for, like, you're in New Mexico, the black population is pretty small there. If you're looking for a black male, then the chances of you finding them is going to be a little bit slimmer than a place where there are higher populations of black males,
Mm-hmm.
right? So that's just a across the board thing. If you're looking for specifically or looking for love though, and it shows and it has no barriers, if you will, then obviously you're open to the full population that could be out there. But again, it depends on what your specifics are. Um, do I think people should do that? I think it's being done. And I think it has always been done,
Mm-hmm.
where people will go to a location and can have more success in that location dating. But is it solely because they moved, or is it because the environment that they went into, they vibrated or connected to that environment much better than they did where they were at previously?
So it brought
Because
out a different part of their
it brought out,
personality.
yes, it brings out the best parts of you.
Okay.
Because, for instance, I can't see the type of person I am. I can't see myself in New York. I can't see myself in LA. I'm from LA, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I can't see myself living there. I can't see myself living in a New York. I can't see myself living in a Paris. The type of environments that's in those spaces, what typically dominates that is usually opposed to the type of person that I am. So does it mean that I couldn't be successful there? No. But what I can tell you, because I've lived in a variety of different places, that there are some places, man, I just feel like
You
I'm
thrive.
in my fucking flow. Like I'm
You
in
thrive.
my lane. I
Okay.
thrive there.
Okay.
Right. And because all like 90% of my interactions, I'm on the same frequency with those interactions. The 10% are the weird ones, versus you can be in a space where 10% are the good interactions that vibe with you. 90% are the bullshit ones. Right. And so you feel like you've got to either adjust your personality for the environment you're living in, or or just settle for feeling like, feeling threatened on a regular basis. So do I think it's possible to do it, to move and to find some things? Absolutely. But my thing would be this though, and I mean this sincerely. I don't think moving for a mate should ever be the piece, the thought piece, or the lived piece. But I do believe that moving for your better self,
Okay.
yes. Because better self equates to different vibration, and a different vibration, a different frequency attracts a different type of individual.
Okay.
So, for me, growing up in Hawaii for a period of time, I don't know if it's because of those experiences that I feel really comfortable in laid back ass environments. I don't like having to be hyper focused on shit that's in my circumference. I don't like that. And going back to the point of living in LA and then being a teenager and coming with you and noticing how you had to drive, I'll never forget that experience. I'll never forget that experience of something that I casually would do was to stop at a red light. Your ass 2 blocks back started coasting
Mm-hmm.
because you said, "No, you don't stop at red lights out here, not in this area."
Mm-hmm.
Right? And that left an impression on me.
Mm-hmm.
And I know for me, the type of individual I am, that environment
Yeah,
doesn't
you wouldn't
suit
want
me.
to live like that.
Nah.
So yeah, so okay, so the environment, okay. Now it made me think of, now this is just something, this is the thing. Now you heard about the lady who recently got murdered. Did I send you that about the lady who got murdered at the conjugal visit?
Yes.
The 62-year-old lady married this man in jail in Northern California
Oh, she
against her
married this nigga
family.
in jail?
Yes, please let me play this. Let me play this clip.
I-
Because I just
I
can't
thought they
get
were married before she got. I thought they were married before, and then he goes to jail, and she's just fucked
my
with him.
God today.
She married in jail.
That's my, and wait till you see the lady. I mean, because I was dumbfounded. Look at this. Business owner, pretty. Not that you can't. Okay, let me just stop talking. Watch this. Hold on. I'm gonna share this screen because I just can't get over this. This isn't it. Hold on.
Yeah, clearly.
This is something else. But look, here we go.
You have a DUI.
Okay, here we
During
go.
a conjugal visit, David Brinson, sentenced for the brutal murders of 4 people, was the last person to see his wife alive. At first, authorities believed she died of natural causes, but the autopsy tells a different story. The truth, she was strangled. Now her family is demanding answers. Like, how could this happen inside of the prison? And was there a deadly plan all along? I'll walk you through the details. For Law and Crime News, I'm Kennedy Walker. This woman, Stephanie Brinson, known as Stephanie Dowles, was found dead inside a California prison in November of 2024. She is now at the center of a homicide investigation because authorities say she was strangled. Her husband, a convicted mass murderer, already serving life behind bars. David Brinson is serving 4 consecutive life terms without the possibility of parole for the execution-style murders of 4 men during a 1990 robbery in Los Angeles. He was convicted in 1994 and just narrowly missed the death penalty. Now, according to the LA Times, here's what happened. Brinson reportedly believed one of his victims, Robert Marks, was a high-level cocaine dealer. He stormed into Marks's home demanding drugs and money. But after ransacking the place and finding almost nothing, Brinson made a decision that would change the rest of his life and end someone else's. Prosecutors say he forced Marks and 3 other men to lie face down on the floor and then shot each of them in the back of the head, execution style. His victims included 59-year-old Robert Marks, his roommate, 28-year-old Gene McCullers, and 2 visitors, Celadino Ligtas, who was 33, and William Terry, who was 27 years old. Despite his violent past, Brinson was still allowed visitors. According to the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation website, some inmates are eligible for family visits, which is defined as visits that occur in private apartment-like facilities on prison grounds and last approximately 30 to 40 hours. On November 13th, 2024, Brinson and his wife were in the middle of a conjugal visit. Just after 2 a.m., prison officials say Brinson used the family unit phone to call for help, claiming his wife had passed out. Officers attempted to resuscitate her, but it was too late. Stephanie Dowles was pronounced dead at 2:51 a.m. At first, her death was believed to be from natural causes. Now, 4 months later, the Amador County coroner confirmed Stephanie was strangled. What's unclear is how long she had been at the prison and when exactly she arrived. Stephanie, known as Stevie, was 62 years old. Her family told KCRA she was a hairstylist and a small business owner. Her mother, Ovetta Wilson, called her, quote, the glue that held the family together. She was a mother of 2 and a grandmother of 6. Her family, devastated by her death, is now demanding answers from the prison. Like, how did this happen? And how are people with multiple murder convictions allowed to have conjugal visits? According to the CDCR, while certain inmates, like those on death row or convicted of sex offenses, are banned from these types of visits, multiple murder convictions are not listed as a restriction. Regarding security for family visits, an officer tasked with monitoring a visit can check in unannounced, but every effort shall be made to ensure the privacy of the inmate and their visitors, according to the CDCR manual. As of now, no charges have been filed, and officials say the case remains under investigation. The Amador County Sheriff's Office confirmed to the Los Angeles Times that Brinson is officially suspected of killing his wife. If convicted, this would be Brinson's 5th murder charge.
God
And joining me
damn.
now is prison consultant Justin Paperny. Justin, it's great to have you, and we want to get your perspective. First, how strict is security during conjugal visits or family?
Prison staff to think, okay, he's worthy of these niceties, so to speak. The problem is when something like this happens, everyone's going to be held accountable. And that's sort of like prison. Even in a minimum security camp, you don't clean the microwaves well enough, no one's going to get the microwaves for a week. So in a scenario like this, prisoners who have earned it through good behavior, who are following policy and programming and preparing to come home, they are going to pay the ultimate price for this, because of course there's going to be investigations. It's going to lead to more scrutiny, and prison is concerned about safety. So you can expect them to say, for the time being, we're going to shut down this process while we reevaluate our processes. So people who have earned it are really going to struggle. And of course, I empathize for the family who's enduring this traumatic tragedy.
Are there any security measures in place inside these family units, and how often are they checked by the prison staff?
I don't care about that. But you know what killed me with this story? Of course, it's sad all the way around. Okay,
Absolutely.
What I guess for me, what was bothering me, first thing I thought of, I don't know anything about conjugal visits and the rules in jail. Okay, I don't know. And like he was saying, it's fucked up because he's fucking it up. And my husband said the same thing. He's fucking it up for everybody, because this is and I just found out today, this is the second murder at this same prison on a conjugal visit. Now, this black lady met him online, and they have a piece where she was interviewed a ways back, but she did some type of video, and she was talking about how she was lonely and all this, and her family did not want her to date this guy. She met him through like some kind of pen pal. Hi, lock him down. But I guess for me, it's shallow for me to say, but she was pretty. She was in shape. She had money. She was a business owner. Like, for real. She had a salon. She owned a salon. Why? And you live in Los Angeles. I don't want to say you had your pick, but what makes you pick a man in jail? And not only jail, killed 4 people. Are you that lonely? I don't get it.
Well, yes. I definitely would say that you are. And I would say it goes even further than that. So when you consider what causes a person to make certain decisions, there is a level of obscurity to what's the motivating impetus, right, behind whatever it is, unless they talk about it. There is that. So, but barring that, one of the things that we know about human nature is that human nature, people tend to desire connection, right? Now, here's the fucked up part about it. And it's no different than why does a woman stay or a person stay in an abusive relationship? It isn't very different as far as what the baseline motivation is.
Okay.
Because sometimes that fear of being alone far outweighs you being single, successful, and then going through the process of finding a suitable partner, right? But in those types of scenarios, you tend to end up meeting on an even playing field, right? We're meeting here. No one's typically greater than the next. In a scenario like that, though, like this one that we're talking about, there is something that is already present. This person, whoever this person is, because men find women in prison too. Like, there's websites for this shit.
Right.
But do you
I think
know?
she said that she met him on online, on, like, you know how they be having those illegal phones in jail. But go ahead.
Yeah. So, but here's the thing with that. What typically men do in prison, and this is from knowing people who have been in prison and being familiar with this shit, is that how do you keep a woman, or how do you find a woman when you're in prison? Well, here's the thing. You tell them exactly what they want to hear. He presented himself as the ideal man, and that he was just so happened to be in a fucked up situation. Now, have people found love in jail? Yes. As a matter of fact, there was a high profile case that I saw some years ago, and it was a black woman, and I want to say she was a WNBA player.
Okay.
And there was this athlete who ended up in jail from college or whatever it was. He ended up being falsely accused of whatever it was he was dealing with. And she then galvanizes people, gets him out, and those two ended up married. They ended up married.
Oh, I remember that story. Yeah.
Living happily ever after, right?
Yeah.
So,
and I think they become preachers or some pastors.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah.
But I remember when she talked about it, and she was saying how she didn't go into this. It was a social justice thing. She fell in love with him as she began to talk to him.
Okay, yeah. I remember that.
Right. So when you go back and you look at this situation, then you say, well, are the pieces of the story, do they line up with the possibility? Absolutely. Because he presented himself. Tia asked a question and said, did she know that he did that? Here's the thing. Did he tell her that he did, or did he say he was falsely accused? So, and I was talking about this, and I think this is a perfect time. And I'll say this. As a male, and I am in the dating, well, I'm not really in the dating market yet, but I've dealt with females, right? One of the things that I can say is that if you have a level of insecurity, well, let me rephrase that. Hold on. Because I want to help with this one. Like, what I want to say is I want to help the women who are single, and if you're out there looking for someone. We all have insecurities, but if those insecurities are too pronounced, it gives off an aroma.
Desperation.
And that will always get the wrong man's attention.
It's like blood, ain't it?
Blood in the water for a shark. So what is the message in this though? Is you've gotta do your due diligence for you though. Because if you're aware that, man, I'm really in this state right now, that'll help you to, when it comes to you to being able to decipher between what's real and what isn't when it comes to dealing with whoever it is that you're interested in, whatever type that's out there. But I'm going to say this. A man that has a level of substance, he's not typically looking for a person, or a woman who has a level of substance is not looking for a person who is desperate. Because desperation doesn't say that you love me. Desperation says you love anybody that
Yeah.
you can get your hands on,
Right.
right? So if I know that that's my thing, it will behoove us to really zero in on that, and then we do the work there. We do the work so that we can clear that shit out.
So you're saying if you're saying that a person has to know that they're desperate and admit it. You have to be able to admit that you're desperate for love.
You have to,
Because it as fucked up as that sounds, because it sounds real fucked up. But it's dangerous if you don't, right?
it's dangerous if you don't, because this story here is a perfect example of that. Because if you don't do that, then what you're doing is you're opening yourself up
For the
him to
shark.
tickle your fancy.
Mm-hmm.
He told her every fucking thing that she wanted to hear. And
Yeah.
is it rocket science? No. Was he a master manipulator? Fuck no. You don't have to be a master manipulator. Is he a narcissist? No. Again, we throw these words around just because. That he doesn't have to be none of that.
He could be, but he doesn't have to be. We're quick to assume he is.
These niggas, they're desperate. So he is going to give her exactly what she needs. And here's the thing, you tell him what you need.
Yeah.
And I don't think women realize that you actually tell us exactly what it is that you need.
Let's talk about it, because there are so many, and we're talking male and female, but this is straight up relationships. It does,
relationships.
We're talking male, female, but it don't matter. At the end of the day, you can communicate so much of yourself in so many ways just in regular conversation. Verbal, absolutely. Non-verbal, the way you dress, the way you look, the way you smell, the way your conversation, your subject matter, how your friends, if you have friends, if you hang out a lot, like every little thing you do, it says something. And I think that people forget that. And it's not just in relationships, it's anything. You work relationships, friendships. Yeah. We have to be aware that, and going back to what you said about being able to admit your level of desperation, because I would say that we all have some level of desperation, depending on the situation. None of us are exempt, right? Or we're all maybe not all desperate, because that's kind of a negative connotation, but just wanting something, a desire for something, right? But that desire, like you were saying, it can't supersede your, as Truth would say, your dignity earlier. It can't supersede your dignity. Like, that has to be more important. And when you get desperate like that, it comes across, and it's like nails on a chalkboard for me, especially when I don't give a fuck about a man, but when I see women who are desperate and it's obvious, especially if I fuck with you or I love you for real, you know what I'm saying? And then it's like, oh, and I can sense your desperation, and I'm another woman. I'm like, girl, don't go out like a sucker, please. Like, I don't give a fuck if you 500 pounds or 2 pounds or GED or a PhD. You see what I'm saying? Like, love yourself enough to not just go for any fucking thing. I'm not saying if the nigga's in jail, he don't deserve love. Or if the woman's in jail, she doesn't deserve love. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is, what are you getting from that? This nigga could have had 3 women in there. He's a fucking pen pal. You can't, it ain't like you can stop by his house and drive by in the middle of the night and see if there's a car outside.
A lot of them do, because it's the law of averages. So I guarantee you're not gonna find a nigga that's just in there and he's not, and he has access to women in general, that he's only talking to one. No, but he's
Right.
going to spend. He's going to invest the one that is giving him enough play, if you will, right? Like he's getting the feedback he needs. So to your point, though, giving off this aroma, and that's the thing, though, because I'm gonna tell you, like that shit is a turnoff. If you are too desperate, and for lack of better terms, I can't think of because this is fresh and live. Like we don't practice this shit, so this is a real conversation in this moment. But oh, I just thought of a dope ass name, but nevertheless,
Don't forget
what I was gonna say. Yeah, I don't want to forget. Hold on, I just need to write. I just need to make a quick note of this because but one of the things I would say that really plays a role in creating like the best or the highest intended outcomes for our own personal sake is understanding where my area of opportunity is. Because so as a matter of fact, hold on, we're right up at our. I'll get in. Let's touch that right after this short break, and we'll play a song. We're gonna be right back, and we're gonna get further into this concept, and we'll talk a little bit more.
We're gonna help you desperate motherfuckers tonight. Okay, what? They're desperate. Okay, yes they are. Okay, we're gonna play a song. If you're desperate, just stay around. Actually, tag somebody that's desperate and tell them to come on in. I'm gonna go make me some popcorn. I'll be back. Wait, I gotta find a song. I'll do this song you sent, Jason, right here.
Run it.
Did I play it?
If I send it, it's dope. That's what we know.
Sunset right into it. Hey. I close my eyes, I see images of your beautiful face. Coachella nights under the stars, you should be right here on this stage. Why you go ghost on me? No calls, no texts, no signs, no trace. You know you burnt me softly. We caught fire in the hills, can't get them off me, no. And now your spirit haunts me. Shadows of your silhouette, they still confront me. Why am I scared? Why you even there? Hate it didn't last that long. Up in there, and you were just here. Now you're gone. Moonlight drives in a valley. Episodes on my mind, you and I, the only thing that makes me happy. Pretty lies in your eyes, fine as wine. I heard it's better here in Cali. Why you go ghost on me? No hugs, no love, no lie. You almost had me. You know you burnt me softly. We caught fire in the hills, can't get them off me. And now your spirit haunts me. Shadows of your silhouette, they still confront me. Why am I scared? Were you even there? Hate it didn't last that long. Up in there, you were just here. Now you're gone. Why am I scared? Were you even there? Hate it didn't last that long. Up in there, you were just here. Ain't have no issues.
And now I'm in a world I never been to. Been priceless in the bed I never see you. Where did I go wrong? You were just here, now you're gone, gone. Now you're gone. I just need the band, baby, one time. Here with my girlfriend dancing the line. I just want the DJ to come move me. Something about music do something to me. Got all the boys' attention one time. Blur with the mouth that's better than mine. If you're standing on the wall, boy, you gon' lose me. Come with me right if you gon' choose me. I know you want it, but I just wanna dance. Yeah, yeah. So push up on it, I just wanna dance. Oh yeah, I see you want it, but I just wanna dance. Yeah, yeah. If you want it, you just better dance. If you can step to the left, then you can shake to the right. And if you can drop it down, you can turn it around all night. If you can step to the left, then you can shake to the right. And if you can drop it down, you can turn it around all night. You gon' break it down, down. I know you like to hear the big sound. I know you like to pump it hella loud, beating up the whole town. They can hear us in the sky now. We're going up, break another round. If you gon' cross my lane, best believe you gotta entertain me. If you gon' dance with me, better put that thing up on me. I know you want it, but I just wanna dance. Yeah, yeah. So push up on it, I just wanna dance. Oh yeah, I see you want it, but I just wanna dance. Yeah, yeah. If you want it, you just better dance. If you can step to the left, then you can shake to the right. And if you can drop it down, you can turn it around all night. If you can step to the left, then you can shake to the right. And if you can drop it down, you can turn it around all night.
Shawty bad, slim, big. She my drug, she my fix. And I'm all up in her mix. She be mixing with the wrist. She the plug, she finesse. She the one they call the girl. She don't stress, she don't trip. And she fuck with all my bros. So if I gotta choose someone, then it must be her. She been here since day one. I guess I'm gonna have to call her back.
Okay, I'm back.
I was feeling that for a minute.
I'm sorry. It takes 2.5 minutes to pop the popcorn. You know, I don't eat microwave popcorn anymore. So
No.
I pop it now. I've been popping it now.
On the stove? The old school way?
Yeah, I buy the kernels. I bought a big thing of Orville Redenbacher kernels.
Yeah.
From Amazon. And then the Orville Redenbacher has a butter oil.
Mm-hmm.
And I put that with the kernels and I put some salt before I pop it with the kernels and I mix it up. And then I got this thing. You could do it on the stove, but I got this thing from Amazon. You put the kernels in there. It's silicone and it has a top and you put it in a microwave and you just let it pop.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Man, do you remember those old school poppers? They used to have that little chute.
Yeah.
They come out the front.
Yes.
Man, I used to like those too. I think those were like air. I think they were air driven back in the day. Because, you know, that air frying is not even new. People think it's new, but it came out in the 70s originally.
Oh, yeah. Look at Susan said Jiffy Pop.
Yeah. I actually like the other one, though. The one that's on the stove. and with the foil, the little foil thing, and it
It gets
expands.
big. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I used to love those things, man, because you know,
Look at this negative
it's
person.
yeah, Tia. I'm not sure why that is. I feel like pretty much all of us really did enjoy that. Nevertheless,
Everybody likes popcorn, Tia. God,
everybody does. We don't. I mean, again, there's she's in
okay.
Seattle. What can you say?
Not she's in Seattle. Okay,
But
look. Can you air fry it? Here we go.
yeah, you
Okay,
can.
what were you gonna say?
They do have those. But so the piece I was going to say was this is, and this is, and I would say this is very important information for anyone who's looking. If you have an idea of the type of individual that you like to be partnered with, here's what I'm going to say. If that idea is not driven by social media, if those ideas are not driven by societal expectations, i.e., the motherfucker's got to be 6 foot, make 6 figures, shit like that. If it's not drawn or driven by those types of things, now again, if that's your thing, it's your thing. But if it's genuine to who you are as a person, here's what you have to know. You don't have that expectation or that desire just because.
Okay.
What I believe those desires are there for is because there's a standard that you want to ultimately get to, right? And you want to have that's going to vibrate with who you are.
Okay.
But here's the other part of that is that quality requires quality to make a quality connection.
Come on.
Right? So when Mama Bear said something earlier, she said, I'm focused on building me in essence. She didn't say those words specifically, but that's what she was talking about, right? I'm focused on me. I really do believe that that is the most advantageous approach that you can take. Because not only do, and I've said this when it comes to anything, when I smile, everything else around me experiences said smile.
Mm-hmm.
When I laugh, everything around me feels the reverberation of my laugh.
Come on, reverberation.
Everything I'm connected to is affected by the things that happen from this entity that is me. When I'm frustrated, everything around me is a partner to that frustration as well.
Right.
So you can't distinguish or differentiate that. So if we think that, okay, I can be miserable in my job, but I'm great at home, that's not always the case. That's more often than not the case, because what's happening is you're taking on a lot of unnecessary shit, and you have to at some point unpack that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Or what you're doing is you're now reducing your space that you have available to the people that matter the most and the things that matter the most to you. So all of this unnecessary shit is just occupying majority of your activity space when it comes to, you know, your flexibility, your patience, your perseverance, all that shit, right? It's affected by it. So when you say I'm focusing on me, I do believe that that is a great approach to go. Because when I am better, not only is everything around me better, what I attract resonates with where I am. Number one, that's like the most important, because we're talking about dating, right? So what I attract, even jobs, though, what I attract is going to resonate where I am. And in addition to that, as I continue to evolve and I'm aimed at getting to my best self, right? What I'm ultimately doing is I'm on a journey that the people that are aligned with said journey, those are the people that are going to be my co-partners, or the people that can come shoulder to shoulder with me and walk this thing out. when you see a scenario where you have one person who's aimed at trying to be a better person, and the other person is just said, I'm cool where I'm at.
Mm-hmm.
There comes a point where there's a tug of war that happens in scenarios like that. Now, whether that happens early or whether it happens late, at some point or another, it's going to happen if one or two things doesn't happen. If one party doesn't abandon their stance and join the other partner's stance to move forward, or if they both set in their ways and say, hey, it is what it is, I'm just going to be this, then typically what happens is your paths begin to go opposite directions. And then you ask yourself, how did we get here? Right? How did we get to this point in this relationship? You're way the fuck over here. I'm way the fuck over here.
Mm-hmm.
So, but getting back to the primary subject at hand is like, is this thing, man? And I've seen this shit. And I'm going to tell you, like, that shit is such a fucking turnoff.
What?
Because the stuff we're talking about when it comes to when people are extremely desperate. I remember saying this I remember saying this to a person one time. I said, I'm not interested in being another check on your list. I'm not interested in that at all. I don't want to be the box that you check off to say you've had this experience. I had this ride. I had a guy who was doing this, that, or the third, who was about this, that, and the other, who believed in X, Y, and Z. I'm no longer interested in being it. And I realize what I'm now dealing with when it comes to the world of dating that's out there.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have people who have boxes that they're trying to check off, like a fucking bucket list. Right? So,
yeah.
But
those checklists can get dangerous.
Yes, they fucking can. They can be very dangerous.
You could be by yourself a long time fucking with that, y'all.
Man, and and pass over people who actually met what it was. Like I'll give you one. I remember, and I was working. This was a friend of mine actually, years ago, and I remember her talking to me one time, and she said she wrote a list out of what she wanted in a guy. And I remember saying to her that once you do this, what you do now though is you have to match what those expectations are.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because again, quality needs a quality connection in order for it to have a quality signal that runs.
Yeah,
through,
be
right?
what you're looking for.
Be what you're looking for. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember she met this guy and liked him, but he just didn't do something for her. But this nigga checked off, I want to say 9 out of the 10 boxes.
Mm-hmm.
He legitimately checked off 9 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
And she let it ride. She let that one ride. Mm-hmm. And I want to say in that particular scenario, it was sex. I want to say that's what it was. That was the thing. Well, she didn't like his teeth either.
Right.
Some shit I can't control. Right.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I remember seeing that, and I don't know what happened as a result of that. I just know, like, her kids, he loved them, man. He was.
We get stuck on this whole. I know people. You talk about you want to manifest things in your life, and we're talking about relationships or dating, or even if you're already in a relationship, just keeping it going, and a marriage, whatever. And so part of manifestation is, envisioning things and, trying to, make things come to pass by putting it in your spirit and just, consuming it. So I don't know. I think there's a healthy list, and this goes with everything I always say. There's a balance, and it's okay, I think, to have some expectations. Maybe a rough draft. You know, I think the problem comes in when you're stuck on this. There, you don't have any room. You don't have any wiggle room.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's when it gets dangerous, when you don't have wiggle room, because I want somebody to have wiggle room for me. And if you want to get stuck, especially when it's something superficial, I do feel like you do have to be attracted to someone. If sex is that important to you and you've always been like that your entire life, going back to your example, and you know that that's a deal breaker for you, I don't feel like necessarily you have to give up on that completely, and but now let's talk about it. What part
Yeah.
of sex? What is it about sex? Is it the touch? Is it the companionship? Do you just like a big dick? Does it feel good? I mean,
Is it
what
is it the lack of foreplay?
is it? The lack of foreplay? Can he just use his fist? I don't know.
What?
Well, I was just saying. I mean, there has to be options.
How did you
Like,
miss fingers and go straight to his
because
whole
I said
hand?
big dick. If you want a big dick,
Oh,
the finger's not gonna, unless he puts all of them in there.
okay, I got you.
So I mean, I guess it could have been. I could have said hand.
No, but you went fist. So fisting is a thing. I don't know. It's a
Look,
thing.
what's that emoji? I love that one. I love that one.
I
Anyway,
can't. That one needs to have a caption of it. I can't call it.
I can't call.
I can't.
Where's the soundboard when we need it? Look at this. We're talking about options. Wait, now what did Cool James say? Let me see. Hi, Cool James. I didn't see you when you were gone. I mean, when I was.
Man, so this is a good one though, because that one, and that speaks to experience, and because there is a dynamic that's there with that. There is a dynamic, and it definitely can, especially when you're not doing the drinking. And I talked about this last week, being with a person that we were always like lit, like drinking, smoking, whatever, the woo. And we were vibe, like it was fun, like shit was great. But when we were sober, we didn't know what the fuck to say to each other.
You're like, now what's your name again?
Like it was bad though. It was really bad when I look back at it, and I'm like, God damn.
Now, what was he saying here though? What is he saying? What is he saying?
He was saying how his ex got mad because he didn't want her to drink as much as she did with the frequency that she was drinking.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't elaborate to whether or not it was because they, a health concern, or
But he said, I didn't tell her to quit drinking. Is he saying he should have told her to quit drinking?
No, she just got upset because he wanted her to reduce the frequency.
Oh. I mean, he's like, it could have been worse. I could have told you to stop drinking altogether.
I didn't tell you to stop quit, like to quit completely. It's just like, like, man, you're drinking every day or whatever the fuck it is.
And she got mad.
And again, this is where, and this probably related to that statement I was making, how you can be you end up at some points and you like, one person's way the fuck over here and this other person's over here. And it's like, how in the fuck did we get here?
Mm-hmm.
But again, that's where those personal goals and that shit, the alignment piece factors in.
Mm-hmm.
So, to kind of put it all into, wrap it up, well, not wrap it up, but kind of like put it into a bow, put a bow on it.
Mm-hmm.
I do believe that you seeking after your best self is essential.
Mm-hmm.
I do think so. And when you consider that we're only here for a certain amount of time, well, in this state, I am one of those that believes that some of us have been here before.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't quote me on anything other than just know the fuck I said it. And if you ask me about it, I'll tell you why I believe that. But I believe that some of us have been here. Do I believe that we all are doing it all the time? In a cycle? I don't know. I don't necessarily believe that, but I don't have a reason not to believe it. It's just I just don't know. But I do believe that we have been. In saying that, I still believe that evolution is important, and evolution is tied to the experience that we have. It's tied to the quality of the experience that we have as well. So, if you're talking about and your interest is in finding a mate, do I think it's important to be after your best self? Yes, because one key or core component that I think is important for anybody who's searching after their best self is that that person also needs to be driven to be their best selves. Because when you have that, you won't have that piece, that interference piece that comes in there when a person is frustrated because you're doing something like you're choosing to stretch at night to improve your quality of life, but they'd rather you be in the bed with them. And then make it a problem because you're choosing to stretch. It's like, I'm not in the streets. I'm not out here. I'm not doing nothing. I'm fucking stretching. And this is what I do every night as a part of my nightly routine. Why is that a fucking problem to you? Well, I just think you should be in the bed with me when I get in the bed. Like, where does that come from?
Okay,
Again,
let's talk about that. Yeah, so to tie that in, because that makes sense for me. Okay, so tie that into what you were saying earlier. That example. Tie it in.
yeah. So when you have a scenario like that, again, that's where you're operating in a space with a person that is not in alignment with what's important to you. And I think that's got to be valued. So again, when we're after our best self, right? You want to be with somebody or associated with somebody that's after their own.
That's
Because
after their own best self.
yes, you want to be.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what does that look like in an everyday scenario when you're already in a relationship, and whether it's a long-term relationship or short-term relationship? Everyone has, like, growth doesn't look the same for everyone. So a person might not be doing the exact same thing, but here's the thing that they don't do. They don't interfere with you doing it.
Okay, there you go. That's what I was waiting on.
That's the other part, right? So is when they don't, what happens in some scenarios when you have two that are diametrically opposed is you're going one way, the other person is like a foot in the sand, I'm going this way. And it becomes a problem when you're doing whatever it is that makes you tick or whatever it is that makes you smile. So again, I know me, and I'm very adamant that I cannot be in a scenario where I'm not allowed to be the me that I am. I cannot be in a scenario where my intelligence, and again, and I use that because, do I consider myself intelligent to a degree? Yes. But do I wear that as a badge of pride? No. I am a learner. I love to learn. I learn abstract shit.
And you don't want a woman to get in the way of that.
It's not that, but it's like, why would you be offended at the fact that I like to learn? Right? I like language. I like to explore languages. I play with languages. I'm constantly looking at, I see the correlation there. Right? I'm a kid in a candy
But
store when it
what
comes to
if
certain
you don't
things.
get in? Okay, so this is my thing. What if it's not that I'm getting in the way of that? It's just irritating to me. I'm just using this as an example, or the stretching thing. I don't care what it is. I'm just using this. So using that example, I think then the point I want to make is there is always a way to go about something. But to even decide how you're going to deal with something, you have to be honest with yourself. So if I know that you are a person that's language based, that loves words, that loves to learn, that's your thing. Okay. And it's a turn off for me, or I don't like it for whatever reason, then why am I with you? It could be because you're paying the bills.
Maybe.
It could be I'm getting something from it because I'm still here.
Maybe it's because I
And
checked off a box.
maybe you checked off a box.
I checked off a box.
So my thing is now then we gotta read the room, and we have to be honest. So you would also have to be honest with yourself. And even if that person is not honest enough to tell you, hey, this isn't going to work, if you know, every time you start talking too much and start using big words, it irritates, and you do it a lot. So I'm constantly irritated when we're on the phone. So why am I going to stay in that situation? Right? Why am I going to stay in that? But if I'm staying because I'm selfish and because you're paying my car payment, you have to be wise enough to see that this bitch don't really give a fuck, really. Like she's irritated every time I get on the phone. So I'm gonna let her go. Right?
And you have to. And the unfortunate part about it, there's a fortunate piece as well as when you come to the realization of it. But I've had that exact scenario. I've had that right there, where I was demonized for the things that really bring me a great deal of joy.
Okay.
I don't walk around telling people how to say whatever they say. That doesn't register to me. I never said, hey, you need to use these words.
We're going to come back to you, Cool James. Cool Game James. Go ahead.
Yeah, you did that twice, but it's okay.
Okay.
I don't have to, there's no requirement that you have to do the exact same things I do. That was never a requirement. I don't care about that. This is just what I do, because again, it has something to do with where I'm going and how I see myself getting there. But what I didn't see at that time, and again, this echoes back to an older conversation that we had, which is the piece about your self-worth versus your self-confidence.
Okay. Oh yeah.
And the self-worth piece is your core, the base level of you as an entity. Like, it's the thing that is the foundation of who you are. And so in that particular instance, I stayed because what was more important to me at the time was the optics. What was important to me was the look. That I have a relationship, and we seem to be making progress financially to a degree. And to a degree, like, there's some boxes that she checked off for me, right? But the what I learned, though, as a valuable motherfucking understanding for me, was character means everything to me. I can work with a lot of situations if you have a character that I can fuck with. But if you don't have that character, I don't give a fuck how pretty you are. I don't give a fuck how much money you make. I don't give a fuck how fat your ass might be, how big them titties are, how beautiful those lips are. Don't none of that shit matter, because it is an unbelievable turnoff for me.
If you have a character flaw that you can't fuck with.
That it's the fucking type of character.
What about the other way around? What about the characters there? The character, she got everything. Her character's on point. You're like, oh yeah. But her ass is flat. She don't have no lips. She's a AAA cup. Like totally not your type. Whatever that your
Does
type is.
but does she have nipples?
She does have nipples.
Okay, so
But
she
so
has
do
nipples.
men. Men have nipples too.
Okay, but she has nipples.
She does have nipples.
Does she have? You said her ass is flat.
Her ass is flat. She's 7'1".
What? 7'1"?
The bitch is 7'1" with a flat ass and nipples. Yo, her character though is top notch. Top notch, nigga. Okay, let's go. Come on, cool. Let's go to Cool Games. Let's see what he said. Come on. We got to help him out. Hi, James Money. Okay, look. He said another thing. I have a question. Why do we have to be sticking to the phone? You get mad because I didn't answer it. But before we got off the phone, I'm going to be busy. If I get done, I'm going to call you back. What the hell did he just say? Why do we have to be sticking to the phone? He talking about men or you, the girl and the guy?
Girl and the guy, I think.
Get to answer.
Oh, I think what he's saying is, so what that says to me is that's insecurity on display.
Well,
because
explain
her thing is she desires for him to be on the phone and answer the phone for her when she calls.
Okay.
But in his particular instance, I think he was saying that we discussed this, that, hey, I might be busy if you call me back, but I'll call you back when I am available, right? Type shit. And that's pretty common though, believe it or not. But that's a clear indicator that a person is dealing with a level of insecurity, and the type of insecurity that requires you to be within arm's reach at all times.
Men and women do that, yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. And what that is sometimes is sometimes it could be a form of the way you have an insecure attachment. So insecure attachments typically start when you're young, and it could be like, how your parents, dealt with you as an infant and the messages that you took. So when you cried, did your cry get answered? Right? Or did they forcefully just let you sit there and cry rather than actually coming to console you type shit?
So then you grow up and you're this person who
you can grow up to where you require
you're clingy.
People to be this, like right here. You got to be here at any given time, because if you're not here, then that tells me that you don't want me.
Okay, so that's how the person interprets your absence. I told you before we got off the phone that I was going to be busy, and when I get done, I'll call you back. But for this person, we got to be sticking to the phone. And if I don't answer, you got a problem with it. So, for me, and that could happen, right? With anybody, anytime. But again, I like you said, it's insecurity. For me, it's like, listen, it's real simple. That's a conversation. We could talk about why you're this way.
No, but he did have the conversation. He told her, listen, I might be busy, but when you call me, I might be busy, so I won't be able to answer, but I will be able to call you back. He's telling her clearly, or whoever this person is, right. Let him know. He communicated.
But if this person's still doing it though, because if for you to bring it up, it's happened more than once.
That means that whoever that person is, that's their thing. They're going to be there, and it's not my place to change that either.
Okay.
It's not my place to change that. It's not my fight to change that, because one of the things I will say about people is that a person has to be willing to change for themselves, not for you and your sake. The problem is that when people change for people, you owe them motherfuckers. So here's a good one. And ladies, you may have ran across this. If a guy says that I stopped running the streets for you because of you, then he expects a lot out of you. I'll say it like that. And it's not all just, butterflies and roses type shit. No. He expects you to comfort him, console him. He expects you to put up with his shit. He expects you to deal with his flaws, et cetera, because I did this for you. And that happens across the board when people do things for other people rather than doing things for yourself, which it goes back to why I said I think it's very important for you to be after your best self and then to be aligned with someone who's after their best self, because their desire to be better or to be better versions of themselves is not predicated on your actions or inactions. They desire that, and vice versa. They gotta want it. They want it for themselves, not to impress you, not to worship you, and not to be worshipped. So I think that there's a clear distinction that happens, and this kind of surfaces in a lot of cases where people are dealing with these types of things. And the unfortunate part about that is a hole you can never mend. You cannot fix a person's insecurity. You cannot. Scripture says that Jesus was perfect in all of his ways, and yet motherfuckers still tried to find a flaw in him. Yeah. But it clearly indicates, hey, yeah, he was perfect in every way, perfect in his dealings, perfect in his interactions, right? No flaws, whatever. People will make some shit up if that's what their thing is. And I love this statement where Jesus was talking to his disciple and he said, some say I'm this, some say I'm that. But he said, but who do you say I am? Right. So based on your interactions with me, what do you believe I am, and who do you believe I am? Because whoever you believe I am is how you're going to interact with me. So if I had a female one time think because of the way I present, she felt like, oh, he got a lot of girls, or he's this, that, and the third. And do you know what I did with that shit?
You left it right there.
Deuces. Because, you can have that. If that's how you feel, that's how you feel. And I'm not finna sit here and try to prove to you I'm not that. Because what you're going to do is you're going to assault my character every opportunity you get.
Yeah.
Because
especially if it's new. You don't have shit to lose. That's another thing, Dynamicist. When we talk about these red flags, people show you shit, and a lot of times we keep it pushing and we keep going, thinking, we start overthinking it. Well, maybe it's me, and maybe I'm over. At the end of the day, you gotta know you, and you gotta know what you can and can't tolerate. And you should know that already before you start dating.
Don't say should, because should is always based on a lie. It's always based on a lie. It would be wise for us, and it would be prudent for us to be aware of that.
Okay. It would be wise of you to be aware of what you can and can't tolerate, or what your deal breakers are, before you start dating, before you get out there. So that if you were to meet someone who in the beginning is teeter-tottering on top of your deal breakers, I don't know, but I'm saying, and I don't know, Jason, but I'm saying, fuck it. Before you even get, I don't know.
Listen,
I don't know.
listen. I'm gonna tell you.
I don't have
That
a lot
was
of time left. Shit.
that was a first for me in that respect, because it came after a litany of experiences, and I saw that, and when I saw it, I recognized it, and I ignored it before, though. I ignored that shit before, and seeing those types of flags. I'm not the type, though, because
Am
I
I
want you
yelling?
to live.
She said I'm
No,
yelling.
no, don't pay attention. Tia is constant. Tia
Am
gets
I
triggered very
I'm
easily. So
yelling.
listen. You
Okay.
can't use that.
Okay.
But
Can you tell me what James meant by this? Who's James?
well, I thought maybe the J in his name is where you were going with
Yeah,
that.
because that's my baby daddy is James, and you not him. Thank God. I'd block you.
We don't know that.
Come on. What is he saying? Working under car
Well,
is nothing to play. I'm just saying. Oh, like the car could fall on you?
Yeah, I think he might have just been saying he was working under a car and he's listening to our podcast.
I don't think so. I think he's saying working under a car is nothing to play with, because he said just saying.
Yeah.
Okay, but anyway, James.
Yeah. So
I'm sorry. Oh, here we go.
Some
people change in a relationship too now. That's crazy.
Yeah, but did they really change though? And I'm one of those that don't believe people change in relationships. I believe people are who they are. It just may take them some time to show you the truth of who they are. Because one of the things I believe across the board is character does not deviate. Our character is what it is. And so actions are actions, but character, yeah, that's a different story. So when it comes to, do whatever, like people, I just don't feel that they do. I think deep down that shit was there. It may take them some time. They may need it to get to a space of comfort with themselves. Like, for instance, here's a good one. When a person leaves a person for the opposite sex, and we've seen that shit happen a million times. For the opposite
sex? What do you mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah. I leave Ralph for a woman?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. And now what
Ralph leaves you that? Ralph leaves you for a nigga.
Tread lightly. Go ahead.
No.
Watch your examples. Use better examples. Use your words. Come on. Well, go ahead.
You can't do that.
Don't miss your point. I don't want you to miss.
You can't do that.
Oh, I was talking about my ex still. I was under a car while she was calling.
See, that's what I'm saying. He was working under a car.
Was calling. He was under a car. And he couldn't answer her call.
And that's a complete level of disrespect for you as an individual, because I work under cars. I work under cars. I know how important that is. And if my lady or my person doesn't know that or respect that, that's a major issue, right? Because I'm going to always have to prove to you, and that's the point I was trying to make. You're going to have to
FaceTime her from under the car. Ain't that a bitch?
That's a problem. Because if you're constantly having to prove my love for you, I'm proving my dedication for you. I have to prove that I'm committed to you.
I'm glad she's your ex. Fuck that.
That's not a good space to be in. So I was saying about that situation, when that got presented to me, I had a moment, because it was a conversation we were having, and this person in their conversation was kind of like, well, you have your perspective, I have mine. I'm like, well, wait a minute. That's true. But what we're talking about is objective truth. And you think that this was the case, but I'm telling you that that's not the case, whatever it was, right? And it wasn't nothing about a female in this particular instance.
Mm-hmm.
But she stayed on that. And I said, all right, bet. You can have it. Because what I'm not going to do any longer is I'm not going to spend my time trying to prove something to a person that is not going to be able to be done by me. You are going to choose to accept or you choose not to. And if
Mhm.
for whatever reason you don't like the type of individual I am bothers you, then that means that in order for me to be vibe with you, I've got to change who I am.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
Yeah.
Because what you're trying to get me to do, like for instance, you know how I love old people, right? Let me rephrase that. Okay.
Mhm.
I have a great deal of respect for my elders. I have a
Okay.
great deal of respect for people who have come before me and have done shit that I can learn from. I have a great deal of respect for them.
Mhm.
I have friends that are 70 years old
Mhm.
right now. I have
Okay.
friends that are 70, 60s, and I hang out with them and
Mhm.
we kick it and we just politic, males and females. When I'm around, typically they're kind of like, "Oh, that's like you're like a son," because a lot of times I'm old enough to be their sons or whatever case may be. In that, based on my age difference. Do you know? I was with a woman one time, and this motherfucker didn't want me to cut their grass, um, do regular shit with them. And I'm like, do you really believe you're in competition with a 70-year-old, a person that I call my family? You're in competition with them? Well, they're not really your family. They are my family.
Insecure.
Like like
Ridiculously insecure.
what is the problem here?
Yeah.
And so consequently, I made the dumbass decision to try to happy wife, happy life type shit. She wasn't my wife, but I'm saying, making that shit happy.
Cut your friends go. Or not see
Never,
them as much.
never a fucking again. Because there's no fucking weird shit going on. I know that. They know that. And I've invited her over and said, why don't you come meet her and talk, whatever, woo. But I admire her. I respect her. I admire her. I love what she stands for. Woo. And it was a problem. And again, that's a core space for me.
But I feel like that's an issue with trust. Regardless of age, you're threatened. Fuck the other person. You don't trust me. That's the real problem.
Yeah, I mean,
Right?
it is what it is. You don't
That's
trust
fucked up.
anybody. You
Yeah.
ultimately don't trust yourself. Ultimately. Because everything is a mirror. And so I believe that, at least. It's all a mirror. It's a mirror. What I typically despise is what I can see in the mirror. Chew on that shit for a minute.
Games, how long were you with her? I even helped her one time on her car over the phone. That's the crazy part. She didn't even say thank you. It was downhill after that. Yeah, it sounds like it was all about her.
Was she a Leo? Games.
Really?
Was she a Leo?
Oh, okay.
No. I'm just asking a question.
No, let's ask him. Was she a Leo?
Is your real name James?
You gonna make me knock over my popcorn. Wait.
Was your real
name
James?
Do you hear this shade? Was she a Leo?
Do you have a son named Josh? Huh?
Games, ignore him. Mama Bear, do not encourage this. Can you believe him? Okay, look.
Wait a minute, I want to know.
Was she a Leo?
Goddamn.
Okay, he was with her for almost 2 years. That's kind of a long time.
No, but look, hey, listen. Cool. Where my soundboard? Hand clap for that. Listen, it's better. 2 is better than 12.
Yeah,
I can assure you of that.
Yeah,
that shit wasn't gonna change. It was gonna change you. That's all it was gonna do. It was gonna either change. Yeah. It's gonna change your ass. That's what's gonna do.
VJ.
Oh, VJ. Okay.
That's the first thing I thought of. VJ.
Where is the J in vagina?
I
Tell
don't
me about
know.
it. Where is it at?
The JJ.
I haven't found it. Please help me.
That's what my mom used to. Who used to say vajayjay?
I know about the G spot. I know about all those. Help me
your
to find the J.
vajayjay.
Where is
They
the
will
J
call
in
your
the
vagina your vajayjay. Hello. Damn, I smacked the shit out of this for you.
You put all 7 fingers up in that bitch.
Cool, vajayjay. Are you gonna come back next week? Or is that it? That is it. Wait. Oh, Red says vajayjay. See, we used to say that shit growing up. Vajayjay. Look. Oh, you know Red too. Cool games. Vajayjay. Where is Red? Okay. Anyway, go ahead. Anyway,
Yeah.
Go ahead.
But
we coming up on the 2 hours. He's going out, you guys. I lasted all night without saying.
You sure did.
I couldn't help it.
You sure did. I am though.
I know.
Yeah,
well,
I am. I got friends out here, and we.
You're a friendly guy.
Yeah, I am for the most part.
Me too.
I like people. I genuinely like people. Like I really do.
Yeah.
It just is what it is. I just
honestly,
yeah.
I'm not even joking. Like, I'm nicer now, and I kind of like being nicer. I don't know.
Really?
Like, I get a better response from people sober and nice. Like, people, I've always attracted people. People have always liked me. I've always been a likable person, right?
I can see that.
But the sober me is different than the non-sober me.
Really?
Both of them attracted people. I've always had friends, always people like to hang out, all that, right? But it's weirdly different. It's not really weird, but it's different. It's hard to explain. Like, my personality is a little more friendly, sober. You make me so fucking sick.
No, listen, tell me about it.
Because before I was angrier. I was angry. Like I was irritable and angry, and then maybe funny, but in an angry, funny way. Now I'm just like, and the reason I brought that up is because
you meant the shit that you said. That's what you're saying.
I miss what?
You meant the shit that you said. That's what you're saying.
Mm-hmm. No,
when you were sober. When you weren't sober.
Yeah, I meant it, but
no,
I meant a lot of it, but it was mean.
Oh, so all that mean shit you said to me, that was intentional.
What did I say? It depends. A lot of it I can't remember.
Oh, that's what we're gonna go with.
Wait.
That's what we're gonna go with. Oh,
look at this nigga. Look at this nigga.
Well, listen, man.
You was with her for 2 years. You don't know what sign she was. I think you making this shit up as you go.
Well, listen, cool. We're gonna have to talk about that one because you should know what her fucking birthday is. The fact that you missed her birthday several times out that 2 years. That means a lot, bro.
And then he wanted to know why she wanted to keep him on.
Nigga, that's why she thought you wasn't into it. You didn't even know her birthday, So look, you know what? It's a process. Okay, just know this: any person you're with, you want to at least remember their birthday. Just at least have some relevance for that.
Are you African American?
It's not important. But what is important is that you remember her birthday. Ain't that right, Marianne? Marianne knows.
Remembering birthday.
Susan, she knows. You got to remember a woman's birthday.
Oh, you knew it back
Maybe anniversary.
Well, he said it was
Birthday.
a while ago.
Birthday for sure. No worries. Yeah, you gotta know the birthday. You know what's crazy though? Let me say this. I know we're at 2 hours, but
it's been years. He said.
I don't know if I give a fuck
about what?
She remember? No.
What?
I was gonna say if she didn't remember my birthday. I think I probably would. I probably would care. You would
care?
I think I would care.
If somebody didn't remember your birthday?
Not somebody, because you don't remember it, but I'm talking about somebody I'm interested in.
What?
I'm clearly not interested in you.
Wait. Okay, listen, we gotta go.
I'm clearly not interested in you, so you have.
So if you were interested in a woman, and she didn't remember your birthday, you'd be bothered by that?
I might be bothered. I think I'd be bothered. I was going to try to say that I wouldn't, but then when I think about it, I probably would be bothered by that. Because how could you not? Nigga,
he said 2013. How old is Cool? But JJ, 2013? What was I doing in 2013? Well, he said this was you.
I know what I was doing.
Having babies?
No, I wasn't having babies in 2013.
Oh, no, you weren't doing it. You were still trying to make them now, I'm sure.
My baby was in 2019.
Oh.
Y'all, listen. Y'all, let me tell y'all about this little boy. So I'm in Atlanta with my son and my daughter and both my sons and my daughter and my grandchild. So last night, my son wakes up. Let me just tell you this. He goes to sleep and he doesn't see me because I took his brother to practice and I was going to go pick him up. So he didn't see me before he just fell asleep. So he wakes up in the middle of the night and he's crying. So, and mind you,
and he's 5.
He's 5, right? So he knows I'm going to be leaving soon. At some point, I've got to go back home. But every night I've been here, he sleeps with me, right? So he's like, I'm sleeping with daddy. So anyway, he's in his bed because he falls asleep, wakes up in the middle of the night crying. Well, I'm downstairs and I just so happen to hear him. So I said something. He hears me. He comes down. He gets in the bed. This is about like 12:30, 12:45. This little nigga stays up for the next 2 hours. So I'm sitting there and I'm always so passionate with my kids and kids in general. Like I zero in on those moments. So he's talking to me. He's talking to me about stars. He's talking to me about the fucking planets. He's talking about tornadoes in different cities and geographical locations where this happens there, that happens over there, whatever, right? So he's running the gamut. So at some point, I tell him,
12 p.m.
Yeah. So at some point, and I said, Zion, I said, can we go to sleep, please? And he says, and y'all, I'm not embellishing. This little boy's response to me at 1:45 in the morning is, why, yes, good. Why? Oh, sure. Well, no, why, yes, good, man. Hold on. Hold on. No, he says, why, yes, my good man. Why, yes, my good man. And I'm like, what are you talking? Where? And man, we laughed for the next 10 minutes. And I couldn't stop laughing. He couldn't stop laughing.
He is so funny.
And
he's so sincere.
He is so sincere, man. Oh,
why, yes, my good man. It's like, what? Nigga, if you don't take your ass to bed, tell me some why, yes, my good man.
I have never heard that.
And then got the nerve to laugh at his own joke. Because he sees you laughing. To him it wasn't funny. He was dead ass.
Listen, you know the old saying.
What, the apple don't fall far from the tree?
No, not that one. Mama's baby, daddy's maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that little nigga was mine.
Mm-hmm.
Because he talks. And I said now that I literally said this, y'all can call me whatever, but I literally said to myself, I said, the odds of her finding a nigga with the hair that I got and a nigga that talks like me.
It don't matter where she's at. She ain't gonna find it.
You're not gonna we not just
right.
not just out there, right?
Wait, when you send me that picture, I show Ralph. Y'all, they all look like you. I was like, it's no question. From the grandbaby to the baby, all of them.
I don't see it though. I don't see it in my daughter.
They say so she's my funny. I was like, look at this photo, please. We got generations here, and they all look like this dude. Oh, look at this one. Good night. Have a good night. Don't tell me you text her to ask her what her. Now she's gonna be calling you again. VJ, did you text her and ask her sign? Oh, don't blame it on Unlatched. Don't come over here next week with a story. That's your fault.
I didn't tell him to call her.
You asked him what sign she was and was she a Leo, and now he done sit up here and text her. You know what? He looked it up.
Oh, okay.
Well, it was nice to have you, Cool Games. I've never seen you before, but you participated. We appreciate it. I appreciate everybody that was here that will watch this replay. And you guys you can leave comments on the replay. I've been getting on Dynamicist to comment back on the replay. He'll work on it. I mean, I really don't know. You know, he has plenty of time on his hands, but you know, hey.
No, I don't.
No, not caller. Okay. He said he's busy. Goddamn.
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
anyway.
I don't have plenty of time, but I will say this though.
What? Look at my
next week. I will be out of town, so I don't think.
Oh yeah. Are you gonna tell him where you're going?
I wasn't planning on doing that. I don't think nobody would care. Like it's just what it is.
They care. We're gonna be absent next week. Oh, look at this one. Check your mentions. Wait, we're not gonna be here next Friday.
Yeah, I'll be in Belize next week. So
where is that? Is that an island?
No, this is in South America.
Oh, it's not an island?
Mm-mm.
It's a country?
Yeah.
Is it?
It's in South America.
We're in North America.
Yes, we are in North America.
It's in South America. We're in North America and we're in the United States. Wait, what is the United States of America? We'll talk to you guys. Wait. You have North. You have the United States.
She's still going.
Just one last thing, and we could go. So you have the United States of America, and is the United States of America broken up into two pieces, North America and South America?